Good evening. You're watching CNN News 18. I'm Arunima. On our weekend debate tonight, we ask if the case against Delhi Deputy Chief Minister is one of evidence or that of vendetta. After CBI's decision to issue lookout circulars against 8 accused in this case, is Sisodia's arrest imminent? We'll discuss that with BJP and Aap spokespersons. But first to Uttar Pradesh, where political speculations are rife over the state leadership of Bharatiya Janata Party. That's the news just coming soon. UP Deputy Chief Minister KP Maurya has tweeted, "Sangathan Sarkar se bada hai." This has ignited political speculations on him possibly being shifted to the party's organizational work from the Uttar Pradesh government responsibility. Interestingly, it was Maurya under whose state's presidency BJP has won the 2017 assembly polls. Maurya had met BJP President JP Nadda recently. Is he now going to be pitched as the party president of the state once again ahead of the 2024 challenge? That is the speculation. And that speculation is because of this tweet that he put out a short while back in which he said, "Sangathan Sarkar se bada hai." Now, what is this tweet all about? Why is the timing of this tweet? All of that is being speculated upon. I'm hoping Pranshu Mishra, my Uttar Pradesh bureau chief, will join me in just a bit and tell us more about what the political situation in the state is. It's a very cryptic tweet from KP Maurya, which essentially means that more than serving the government, it is important to serve the party. Now, this is something that is often repeated adage from the Bharatiya Janata Party members. But why now? Why is Keshav Prasad Maurya tweeting this now? What does that really mean? Is there a reshuffle that Yogi Adityanath cabinet is looking at? 2 deputy chief ministers Yogi Adityanath has. Will we see one move out? Pranshu Mishra with me finally. So Pranshu, what is the buzz about this tweet?
Well, this tweet is not very clear in its content, but it seems that, Keshav Maurya is clearly trying to project the fact that, the organization is more powerful than the government. So that has led to a lot of speculation that whether Keshav Maurya is pitching himself for being the next party state president, because that is an exercise which has been long pending, and there's a lot of speculation that who is going to be the state president. Now, the point is very clear that, in 2017, when BJP came to power in Uttar Pradesh, at that point in time, Keshav Maurya was the party state president, and we have also seen a lot of animosity happening between Yogi Adityanath and also the Keshav Maurya, and both leaders were actually organizing protests at the party headquarters at that point in time. So the fact is that Keshav Maurya putting this tweet at this point in time, so the speculation is that whether Keshav Maurya is actually pitching himself again for the role of the party state president ahead of the 2024 elections, that needs to be seen. But this tweet itself is a very alarming tweet and clearly shows that there's a lot of brainstorming going on at the level of the party's organization, and probably Keshav Maurya is headed for some new role within the party apparatus. What that role is going to be, that is still not clear, but this tweet clearly brings in a lot of speculation.
So what is the equation that Yogi Adityanath has with KP Maurya? Will he be missed in the cabinet if he moves to the party?
Well, the fact is that Keshav Maurya actually lost the elections, the assembly elections from the constituency this point in time, and he was actually brought in as the deputy chief minister, being the member of the upper house, that is the legislative council. The fact remains that in the past actually we have seen a lot of animosity between the chief minister and the deputy chief minister. So what does Keshav Maurya actually wants to send out as a message by putting this very short and crisp tweet? That still is not very clear, and many within the party also are not clear.
Okay.
But the sources do say that Keshav Maurya is actually hinting out at the fact that he's prepared for having a larger role in the party, in the organization, and if he's actually is ready for that role clearly means that he might be pitched in for the position of the state president of the BJP state unit. So if that happens, that clearly means that Keshav Maurya is pitching in for the larger role.
Pranshu, thank you so much. Talking about what the party members think, let me bring in Anila Singh, the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson. Also, Congress has Ajay Kumar Lullu with us. Thank you, both of you. Anila Singh ji, what should we make of this tweet?
My Ram Ram to everyone, and I think what he has mentioned in tweet, it is very clear. As he is saying that Sangathan Sarkar se bada hai, then Bharatiya Janata Party is known for its organization, for its Sangathan. We have got very, very strong Sangathan. But yes, if we talk about government is a totally different game altogether, and government has to deliver the goods for the people of that state or the country.
Right.
And Uttar Pradesh
But the
government is
timing
doing
of this tweet,
fantastic
Anila
job.
Singh ji, the timing of this tweet, does it indicate that he's moving out of the cabinet, moving towards the presidentship of the state unit?
See, personally, I do not have any knowledge about it, but one thing I know that earlier when he was a state head of Bharatiya Janata Party of Uttar Pradesh, he has proved his mettle. He has proved that he is a good state president, Uttar Pradesh of Bharatiya Janata Party, and if he is made state president once again, I am 100% sure that again he is going to deliver the good.
Okay, Anurag Bhadoria of Samajwadi Party is also joining us at this point. Anurag ji, thank you so much. But Ajay Kumar Lullu, first reaction, I mean, this thing, संगठन and सरकार बार-बार कहते हैं, कोई नई बात नहीं है, but जिस वक्त ये कहा जा रहा है, हर किसी को लग रहा है कि शायद सरकार से कूच हो रही है और संगठन को फिर एक बार लीडरशिप प्रोवाइड करने की कोशिश हो रही है, 24 के चुनाव को दिमाग में रखते हुए।
क्या आपको लगता है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी में संगठन का कोई मतलब है? यहाँ तो जो खाता न बही, जो मोदी जी कहें वही सही, चाहे योगी जी कहें वही सही। आप बताइए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी में संगठन की बात आज की जा रही है, ये सत्य है, कटु सत्य है कि सरकार से बड़ा संगठन होता है। तो क्या संगठन के किसी व्यक्ति की कोई महत्ता इस पार्टी में है? सिर्फ एक आदमी, एक व्यक्ति पूरी पार्टी को चला रहा है। रही बात केशव मौर्य जी की, केशव मौर्य जी पिछड़ी जात से आते हैं। क्या उन्होंने 69,000 शिक्षकों को न्याय अब तक दिला पाने में कोई दिलचस्पी दिखाई? जो लोग अपने आरक्षण की मांग को लेकर आज भी सड़कों पर आंदोलित हैं, 2 साल से अधिक समय हो गया। अभी जितने भी वांट निकल रहे हैं उसमें पिछड़ों के कटाव को कितने ऊपर तक ले जाया जा रहा है, ये पूरा देश देख रहा है। दलित और पिछड़ों का जितना शोषण, उनके अधिकारों का जितना ज्यादा से ज्यादा उनके अधिकारों का दमन इस सरकार में हो रहा है, वो क्या जवाब देंगे? ये कहने की बात है, केशव मौर्य जी केवल कह रहे हैं, अपितु उनके पास ऐसी कोई ताकत नहीं है, ना उनका ऐसा कोई एजेंडा है जो पिछड़े और दलितों के बारे में कोई विचार कर सके, उनके अधिकारों को दिला सके। आदरणीय स्वतंत्र देव सिंह जी थे, अध्यक्ष थे, आप बता दीजिए, पिछड़े रोज जाते थे, रोज आंदोलित थे, क्या उनकी बात को उन्होंने तवज्जो दिया? अभी आप देख लीजिए, जितनी भर्तियां निकली, भर्तियों की क्या स्थिति थी?
अनुराग भदौरिया, केशव प्रसाद मौर्य has a proven track record. You lost the election last time he headed the state unit of the BJP. क्या मन में वही भाव है कि अगर उनको दोबारा से संगठन की जिम्मेदारी सौंपी गई, जैसा कि स्पेकुलेशन है, समाजवादी पार्टी के लिए 2024 फिर एक बार मुश्किल हो जाएगा?
देखिए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी 2 तरह की भारतीय जनता पार्टी है। एक भारतीय जनता पार्टी दिल्ली है, एक भारतीय जनता पार्टी लखनऊ है, और दोनों भारतीय जनता पार्टी में तलवारें तनी हुई हैं। अब केशव प्रसाद मौर्य चूंकि दिल्ली की भारतीय जनता पार्टी से आते हैं, उन्हें एमएलसी बनाया गया चुनाव हारने के बाद, फिर उनको डिप्टी सीएम बनाया गया। तो केशव प्रसाद मौर्य जी को योगी जी के इनके, मैंने कहा ना कि दोनों बीजेपी में तनातनी चल रही है, तो अब सरकार की तारीफ कैसे कर सकते हैं वो, उन्हें पता है। तो ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी का आपस का झगड़े हैं ये, क्योंकि जनता के बारे में नहीं सोच रहे हैं, सत्ता के बारे में सोच रहे हैं।
Anila Singh, this is Yogi Adityanath asserting himself, and that's why KP Maurya has to make way.
लोग बेरोजगारी से आत्महत्या कर रहे होते हैं और 4 दिन में सड़क बनी और सड़क टूट जाए।
So I am not following what you have asked me.
सरकार में फैला हुआ है।
जी भदौरिया जी, 1 मिनट दीजिएगा। जो आरोप आप लगा रहे हैं, मैं बीजेपी के स्पोक्सपर्सन से पूछती हूँ। What he is alleging is that Keshav Prasad Maurya does not enjoy the confidence of Lucknow BJP. He doesn't enjoy the confidence of Yogi Adityanath. Hence, he's been given an honorable exit.
Actually, it is utter crap and nothing more than that. Bharatiya Janata Party is known for its organization. We are not one family-dominated party, and Bharatiya Janata Party works in a pyramid system and very strongly. Our roots are very, very strong. And just now, like before Mr. Bhadoria, I was listening to Congress spokesperson or the state president of Congress, and he is so confused. यहाँ आपने पूछा क्या इनको प्रदेश का अध्यक्ष बनाया जाएगा, और वो बात करने लगे कि भाई जब स्वतंत्र देव जी थे उन्होंने पिछड़ों के लिए कुछ नहीं किया, अब ये भी पिछड़ों के लिए कुछ नहीं करेंगे। बात पिछड़ों की, दलित की, अगड़ों की, सवर्णों की नहीं हो रही साहब, यहाँ प्रदेश अध्यक्ष और सरकार की बात हो रही है। So that is why I say Indian National Confused Party.
All right. All right. Anila Singh, Anurag Bhadoria, Ajay Kumarji, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have to wait and see how this story develops in Uttar Pradesh. But here in Delhi, it's an all-out war between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Bharatiya Janata Party over Central Bureau of Investigation's investigation into Liquorgate.
जितने इसमें एलिगेशन लगाए हैं और भी जितने आप लगा सकते हो लगाओ, सबकी जांच कर लो। हमको पता है कि हमने बेईमानी नहीं की, तो आप प्रूव कैसे करोगे? कुछ नहीं होने वाला। लेकिन हमको ये भी पता है कि आपकी कर क्यों है।
उन्होंने स्वयं माना कि शराब घोटाले से वो डरते नहीं। तो मनीष सिसोदिया जी ने खुद माना है कि शराब में घोटाला भी हुआ है, लेकिन जवाब नहीं देते हैं अरविंद केजरीवाल, जो किंग पिन है।
आपको रेड में कुछ नहीं मिला, आपको छापेमारी में कुछ नहीं मिला, तो हताश होकर नौटंकी कर रहे हैं आप।
The tussle between the centre and the Aam Aadmi Party is growing after the CBI raided Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia on Friday in connection with the Liquorgate scam. This evening, the Central Bureau of Investigation issued lookout circulars against 8 private individuals. CBI officials clarified that the agency has not issued any such notice against Manish Sisodia himself as of now. This as the BJP kept up its attack against Sisodia and Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, alleging massive wrongdoing. Aam Aadmi Party, meanwhile, cited the centre's allegation of a DTC scam when no evidence has been found. CBI, however, has said that their preliminary inquiry is still on in the DTC matter. Now, Ashish Mehrishi has been tracking those stories. He's joining us live. Ashish, lookout circular against 8 people. Put that into context, because since morning there's been a lot of politics on the LOC issue.
So we have been in touch with our sources in the Central Bureau of Investigation. Initially, the news was coming out that all accused have been named in the lookout circulars. But then when we spoke to our sources in the Central Bureau of Investigation, they told us that the government servants, they usually don't issue a lookout circular, because especially in the case of Manish Sisodia, because he is a government servant and he reports to the Lieutenant Governor. So in case he has to go out of India, then he has to take permission from the Lieutenant Governor. So that is why 4 accused who are basically government servants, there is no lookout circular against them. That is what the clarification that has come from Central Bureau of Investigation. Whereas out of 9 people, 8 people have been named in a lookout circular that has been given to various immigration bureaus, where in case they go out or they come in, they will be detained and handed over to CBI. That is what the process is.
Right. Ashish, thank you so much. Ashish Mehrishi there telling us about what the Central Bureau of Investigation is doing at the moment. They have collected the evidence. They have issued LOC against 8 people. Now, this morning, when the news came out of CBI's lookout circular, Aam Aadmi Party cried foul. Manish Sisodia and the other leaders of the party claimed that there was an LOC against him. Sisodia, in fact, called it nautanki. He spoke to my colleague Rupashri Nanda. Let's listen in.
सर, आज सुबह आपके अगेंस्ट एक लुकआउट नोटिस इशू करा गया. यू हैव रिस्पॉन्डेड वेरी एंग्रीली टू दैट.
नहीं, मुझे तो हंसी भी आ रही है कि क्या नौटंकी लगा रखी है। मेरे घर सीबीआई की रेड करा ली 14 घंटे, आपको कुछ नहीं मिला, आपकी रेड फेल हो गई। अब आप कह रहे हो लुकआउट नोटिस। क्या लुकआउट नोटिस? मैं कहीं भाग थोड़ी रहा हूँ, मैं तो यहाँ बैठा हूँ, अपने घर में बैठा हूँ। आप मुझे बताओ कहाँ जाना है, कहाँ आना है, मैं जाऊँगा। मैंने पहले ही कह दिया है कि इस जांच में कुछ नहीं निकल सकता, क्योंकि हमने कोई बेईमानी नहीं की, कोई गड़बड़ नहीं हुई, इसलिए हमें पूरा कॉन्फिडेंस है। इसलिए हमने कहा पूरी जांच में सहयोग करेंगे। हम भी चाहते हैं जांच जल्दी से खत्म होके पूरा ये इनका जो एक्सपोज है ना, जो शोर मचाया है इन्होंने, वो सब एक्सपोज हो जाए कि ये क्यों कर रहे हैं ऐसा। फिर जब एफआईआर करते हैं तो उसमें लिखते हैं एक कंपनी ने दूसरी कंपनी को कुछ पैसा दिया हुआ है वाइट में, वो मनीष सिसोदिया का घोटाला है, वो भी 1 करोड़ रुपए। इतने इसमें एलिगेशन लगाए हैं और भी जितने आप लगा सकते हो लगाओ, सबकी जांच कर लो। हमको पता है कि हमने बेईमानी नहीं की, तो आप प्रूव कैसे करोगे? कुछ नहीं होने वाला। लेकिन हमको ये भी पता है कि आप ये कर क्यों रहे हो। मैं कह रहा हूँ कि घोटाले में, एक्साइज में इनका कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है। इनका केवल एक इंटरेस्ट है अरविंद केजरीवाल के शिक्षा स्वास्थ्य के काम को कैसे रोकना है। हजारों करोड़ की जिस सड़क का उद्घाटन किया, आज तक उसकी सीबीआई जांच क्यों नहीं शुरू हुई? वो कचरे के ढेर में बदल गई सड़क। 5 दिन के अंदर अंदर प्रधानमंत्री के उद्घाटन के देश की बदनामी हुई। उसमें नुकसान नहीं हुआ है देश का, वहां नुकसान हुआ है देश का, वहां बेइज्जती हुई है देश की। ये बात साफ बताती है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी 24 घंटे इसमें लगे रहते हैं कि सीबीआई किसके घर भेजनी है, ईडी किसके घर भेजनी है, सरकार किसकी गिरानी है, आज मनीष सिसोदिया को नोटिस, आज मनीष सिसोदिया के यहाँ रेड। ये प्रधानमंत्री का काम रह गया। ये दुर्भाग्य। मनीष सिसोदिया, मेरा दावा है कि इस पॉलिसी में कोई बेईमानी नहीं हुई, ना इसके बनाने में, ना इम्प्लीमेंट में। और ये एफआईआर भी इस बात का सबूत है, और मेरे घर हुई रेड इस बात का सबूत है। इनका दिल्ली की एक्साइज पॉलिसी में हुए नुकसान से भी कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है। मैं बार बार कह रहा हूं आपको, अगर इनका दिल्ली की एक्साइज पॉलिसी में हुए नुकसान से कोई लेना देना होता, इनकी चिंता होती, तो ये इस बात की जांच कर रहे होते कि 2 दिन पहले एलजी ने यू टर्न किसके कहने पे लिया। बहुत बड़ा फैक्ट मैंने दिया है, सीबीआई को लिख के दिया है, पर वो नहीं होगा क्योंकि वो इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं है। इंटरेस्ट अरविंद केजरीवाल को रोकना है। इंटरेस्ट 2024 के चुनाव में इस बात को किसी तरह से रोकना है कि पूरा देश अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को मौका देने पे आ गया तो लोग कह देंगे कि मोदी नहीं चाहिए। दिल्ली की जनता के काम होते रहेंगे, पंजाब की जनता के काम होते रहेंगे। जान से मार डालोगे तभी काम रुकेंगे, उससे पहले काम नहीं रुकना।
So is this evidence-based investigation or is this political vendetta? To discuss that further, let me welcome Shazia Ilmi, Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson. Aam Aadmi Party's Abhinandita Mathur is here with us. Ashwini Dubey, advocate of the Supreme Court, as well as Suparna Moitra, political analyst. Let me begin with you, Abhinandita Mathur. You know, Aam Aadmi Party, all top leaders, each one of you have alleged that this is political vendetta, but not answered the crucial question. 2 questions. 1, was there loss to exchequer or not because of the excise policy? 2, if everything was fine with that policy, why did your government withdraw it?
Okay, I will answer both your questions. Thanks. But just before that, I would also like to, set the context for this. Our claim that this is vendetta is because, the selective approach of these agencies for, if they're really serious about, going after the liquor mafia and so on, then, there is a very big tragedy that's just happened in Gujarat. Anyway, we will come to that. But I mean, that is the reason for us and the public to believe that this is vendetta. We are not running away from answering any questions. Mr. Kejriwal as well as Mr. Sisodia both welcomed the CBI inquiry. We also welcomed, any other agency that needs this. You have to look at the sequence of events here, and that is critical. A couple of days and before that, I would like to say we do stand by this policy. When such complex policies are to be implemented, obviously there is a gap between the policy and its implementation, and that is where we feel that we obviously needed to improve.
Okay.
No doubt about that. Now, coming to a question of why did we take back the policy? You look at the series of events. The former LG makes changes in the policy 2 days before it had to be launched, and after that, the LG himself has been changed. Now, obviously, these are things that, that have to be kept into account of why something was happening. We in the Delhi government have had, we have had such a conflicted relationship with the LG that, for a scheme like the CCTV cameras, our entire cabinet along with the chief minister had to actually, protest in the LG house for 10 full days.
Okay.
So obviously the former LG Sahab would not have signed something if it was not his idea or if he wasn't putting a stamp of approval on it.
Okay.
So here the sequence of events are actually suspicious, and we in fact ourselves are asking for an inquiry and welcome the CBI inquiry. Why we are crying that why we are stating that there is vendetta is because it is selective. You look at the larger context.
All right. Okay.
Mr. Modi had made a big,
so I want to
pompous
just come in
speech.
because
Bundelkhand 5 days later, the flyover actually, falls.
Right. Okay.
And there is no inquiry.
Okay. Shazia Ilmi, you want to respond to that? The reason Aam Aadmi Party is calling this vendetta is because they feel it's selective.
I don't know. I heard such a long and a convoluted answer which really did not make sense. I'm sure it did not make sense to the lady who was uttering those words, really skating on thin ice, and obviously she could not comprehend most of what she was saying herself. but they are very basic questions. And they don't have to do with Gujarat or Maharashtra or Timbuktu. They just have to do with Delhi and the excise policy. Let's stick to that. And let's just go back to the issue we're discussing. So the first of all, I would like to ask this person, the lady who's sitting there. I forget her name, so I don't know.
Why did
Manish Sisodia's close associates, what was their role? Amit Arora, Dinesh Arora, Arjun Pandey. Did they take commission or not? The company that the manufacturers, why was it that and Cowpilla and Indo Spirits, when they were blacklisted company, why were they given the contracts? Third, and most importantly, why was 144 crores given why was the order given from Manish Sisodia to have the money given to the tune of 144 crores to the liquor mafia, to the bidders, when the responsibility was not that of the government? Is that not loss of exchequer? The L1 margins, why were they tweaked and increased from 2% to 12%? Who was it being done to benefit? And also, when the sales of booze, I don't know which one, because I don't know so much about that. It rose by 87%. Consequently, as a result of it, the earnings of excise department should have also increased, and the projections were that of 9,500 crores. And what actually was given to the Rajastha or the excise department? 1,500 crores. So there is clearly a deficit or a losing of 8,000 crores. Who pocketed it? Surely that money was that of the state exchequer. So when let me
bring in a third voice. Ashwini Dubey, you've heard the Bharatiya Janata Party charge and you've heard the Aam Aadmi Party defense. You might have also seen the FIR. I mean, Ashwini Dubey, after hearing both sides, as a practitioner of law, do you feel this is evidence or this is vendetta?
See, Arunima says there is an FIR which states that Deputy Chief Minister Mr. Sisodia and other public servants accused in the case took decisions pertaining to the excise policy 2021 without the approval of competent authority, which is a law which has to be taken with an intention to extend undue favors to the licensees post-tender. This is one. The second, the FIR says at least 2 payments in crores were allegedly made to the close associates of Sisodia. I am using the word allegedly by Samir Mahendru, the owner of Indo Spirit, one of the liquor traders involved in the irregularities in framing and implementing of the excise policy. This is one. Since there is an FIR against the Deputy Chief Minister and his associates, that it has to be taken to the logical conclusion. Whether he is guilty, whether he is not guilty, whether the evidences collected by the CBI, be it may under the pressure, designed investigation, designed evidences, or the evidences which are there to prove that he has committed that offense. That has to be evaluated by the court itself, because special courts are constituted here in India. So a special court will look into whether the offences which has been registered against Mr. Sisodia and others are sustainable in the eyes of law. That will be decided later. But
we'll come to that stage once the CBI charge sheet is out. But right now, this is being fought in the political domain. And Suparna Moitra, I want to bring you in on that. What the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson said is that they feel this is vendetta because CBI and in some cases ED being accused of being selective. They look at only specific cases targeting opposition. But if there is evidence, is this plea good enough?
Arunimaji, good evening, and good evening to all the panelists. Now, I would like to create two different spectrums. One part of the spectrum is the court, which will finally look into the evidences, and the other part is the perception and the role of perception or the correlation of perception on electoral outcomes. Now, both the sides, the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Aam Aadmi Party, have upped the ante against one another. How it pans out as far as electoral outcomes are concerned, we'll have to wait and watch. And as far as the courts are concerned, the courts will go by solid evidence. So I think we stand at this current juncture, Arunaji.
Right. I only have 1 minute, so I can give each one of you just 15 seconds to answer this final question. Starting with you, Shazia Ilmi. This charge of BJP being selective, ED-CBI being selective, and therefore this is political vendetta. 10 seconds.
When the evidence is there, we all live in Delhi and we see what was happening there. If you look at, and what else do you expect them to say? They've been caught stealing. The cookie being stolen from the cookie jar and the hand being found in the cookie jar. What else will they say? They have nothing else to say but call it political vendetta. When the stash was found at Partha Chatterjee's house and the accomplices, what did they say? Political vendetta.
Right.
What else do you say?
All right.
I mean,
Abanandita Mathur, you have no other recourse but to call this political vendetta. Why not wait for the agency to come out, the court to decide whether this is evidence or not?
Absolutely. As far as this case is concerned, we will, we are waiting. But the reason why we are, claiming or accusing them of vendetta is because, it is selective, as I'm repeating, that there are many things that are happening in this country that are actually grave. And even in the matter of liquor, 100 people losing their lives, which also means 100 families being destroyed. Not a word from...
right, you made that point. You made that point, Abanandita. Thank you. I know this is a very politically emotional issue for both sides. I'm afraid I've run out of time completely because there's news coming in from Pakistan. Appreciate all of you taking out time. Thank you so much. This is the breaking news that we have for you about Imran Khan. It's a CNN News 18 mega exclusive. We are learning that FIR has been registered against Imran Khan under the Anti-Terror Act filed by Islamabad Police. CNN News 18 has accessed the FIR. The FIR says that Imran Khan threatened IG Police Islamabad and a female magistrate during a public rally in the capital city of Pakistan on 20th of August. Earlier, CNN News 18 broke the story of his speech where he had threatened the Islamabad police and a judge. Anand Narsimhan is with me. Anand, details.
Well, it was not one or two people, it was three people who he very, very brazenly and openly from a public platform threatened, so much so that Pemra decided to bar his speeches on all satellite channels because it was quite incendiary the way he was speaking. He threatened the army. He even called on the neutrals, alluding to Lieutenant General Ghaffur. Then he called on Justice Zeba Chaudhary, who had issued a 2-day physical remand of Shahbaz Gill, saying that we will also take care of you and we'll come after you, and a lot of other things. He also charged the DIG police of Islamabad, and he said we'll make sure that you are accountable and we take you to task when we come to power. So it was brazen name calling that was happening, and him trying to challenge anybody and everybody and all in sundry. And now an FIR has been lodged in the police station there, demanding that action be taken under the Anti-Terror Act against him and that a case be filed against him. So that's the FIR that's been lodged. Now we have to see whether or not the Islamabad police act on this FIR. And there is a case, and is Imran Khan taken to task for it? Because this now gives ground for those within the establishment who have had enough of him trying to rabble-rouse and to try and join issue with the fanatics who are having a free run on the streets of Islamabad and rest of Pakistan, and to try and really ratchet up the kind of cacophony that we are seeing on the streets. And it is also getting a certain level of purchase because the Punjab Assembly results or the by-election results were startling, where it was a complete vote for Imran Khan. Now this is trouble and it spells for him. Now whether he makes peace with the establishment or tones it down or just ups the rhetoric, we'll have to see in the days to come.
Right. Anand, thank you so much. We'll depend on you and Manoj Gupta to get us more details about what's happening in the political space in Pakistan. But that's all that I have time for. All these details you can read on news18.com. Thanks for watching.